Hello and welcome to my channel, The Awakened Spirit. If you're new here, my name's Melanie. I'm a lifelong medium, and I teach highly sensitive, empathic, intuitive, psychic, and neurodivergent individuals how to access and own their sensitivity as their greatest gift. And today I really wanted to talk about why your sensitivity is your superpower. Now, I know so many of us in the world that are highly sensitive feel exactly the opposite. And when you probably hear me say your sensitivity is your superpower, you're like, Melanie, no, it's not. I hate it. I hate being so sensitive. I hate being affected by energy in the world and taking on other people's emotions and getting drained and all those things. And I can't agree with you more. I have had those experiences as somebody who's highly sensitive. And what I have to say to you about that is that when you learn how to manage energy and see energy and move energy, you can actually become your own energy force in space. You can own your energy and your space in a way that you don't have to take on all of that. And so, one of the big things that I do in my mentorship space, in my client sessions, in my one on ones, in my intuitive training program, which is called Awakening Sanctuary, is I teach you how to access your intuitive gifts and open to those intuitive gifts while also teaching you how to manage energy. And going back to, your sensitivity being your superpower, truly it is, because you came into the world as an awakened spirit that's able to see, sense, feel energy that other people don't. And it's a much more developed, spiritually, soul-wise growth to come into this world with all of the stimuli and all of the nonsense and all of the programming that truly says that your sensitivity is a problem, right? In our society, we've a lot of times believed for a long time, I know that I surely do, that my sensitivity was an issue and that I just needed to grow a thicker skin and I needed to get over it and I needed to be, toughen up. And for some people that works. For highly sensitive empaths, I don't know that it really does, because that energy around toughen up or grow a thicker skin or get over it, it's really invalidating to the experience of somebody who's highly sensitive. And when you start to own your intuitive gifts, when you start to be able to separate from the energies that you're perceiving and that are coming in, other people's emotions, other people's stress, the stress and worry of the world. I don't know if you've ever had this experience where you go somewhere where there's a different accent or you're around somebody with a different accent, and all of a sudden you're kind of, speaking a little bit in that accent. That is your ability to take on and to match energy. And when I say own your sensitivity, I mean have the tools so that you don't have to become the energy in the world. Now, if we talk about quantum physics, just to get a little heady here for a second, if we talk about the world of quantum physics, scientists have discovered in the world of quantum physics, which is the study of subatomic particles, which is just the tiny, tiny, tiny bits and pieces of what our world is made out of. They've discovered that our subatomic particles and everything in the world is made of energy. And so when you're somebody who's able to see, perceive, and change and shift energy, you are speaking the language of the universe. You're speaking the language of spirit. You're speaking and owning and accessing your creative magic and your ability to be empowered in your gifts. And the other piece to this is that scientists also discovered that particles not only behave like matter, like physical matter, like solid structures, but they also behave in a wave form. And what that really means is that particles can both be fixed. Subatomic particles, the nature of our reality, can be fixed, but also it can be fluid. And how is that? Well, what they found was that when you're not observing the physical world, when you're not observing physical matter, it becomes a wave form. And that's why I find quantum physics to be so fascinating, because it really actually talks about the nature of our reality as something that is not only fixed, but it's fixed when we're in our waking lives and when we have our eyes open and when we're observing the world. And so many of us in our conscious states go through the world and we have and hold these mental pictures about ourselves as sensitive human beings. And a lot of times that looks like being a sponge, being really open, being very sensitive, being overwhelmed, being anxious, being depressed. I mean, there's so many different things. And when we are in the world and we have that picture of ourselves, it's really this solid image. And we might not be aware, but we project that image of who we are and what we're experiencing out into the world. And the world and our bodies and all of the fibers of our being and our vibration resonates at an agreement and a match vibrationally with that image. And so the world is almost like a tuning fork, and that image is like a tuning fork, and it starts to attract things in the world and things in your waking life that mirror that image that you hold of yourself. And so if you can begin to go within, and I teach this through meditation and visualization, if you can go within and find that image of yourself and find that image of you as a highly sensitive person, you can change that. You can shift it. You can come to a space where you can dissolve that previous image and use your energy. And when I say your energy, I mean your thoughts, your mental image, your inner dialogue, your emotions, and your whole body state to shift into another way of being and living in the world. And that starts with having that new vision and that new feeling of what it's like to be the way in the world where you are empowered. And the other piece to this is that your sensitivity is actually a great gift, because there's so many people in this world that are deeply in need of your gift. They're in need of your patience and kindness. They're in need of your ability to empathize with them. They're in need of somebody to really see them. And for you to go into the world as somebody who says, I'm highly sensitive, I'm empowered in that sensitivity, and I see you and I connect with you on a soul-to-soul level, that is so powerful. I can't tell you how many times I've sat down with somebody who, or even just ran into somebody randomly who's like, wow, I feel like I know you from somewhere. I feel like, haven't we met before? I just feel very connected to you. And that's because I'm able to just see them as they are. And that is one of the very deep and profound gifts of being highly sensitive, is that you're able to just see people as they are. And sometimes it's accept them as they are. And I don't know which world you live in, but there tends to not be a whole lot of that in the world. Everything tends to be very surface level or very presenting in one way and actually being a bit different. And for you to come into the world as somebody who's highly sensitive, expressing yourself as you are, being empowered in your gifts, being in the world, and literally just being present with other people and with situations and with family and with friends. I mean, this could, go as deep as your career space, but I'm talking more on an interpersonal level. It becomes a profound gift to be able to be present in the world. And that's something that, again, as highly sensitive people find to be so difficult, because we've adapted all of these coping mechanisms to deal with the overstimulation that occurs when you are highly sensitive, like disassociating, like hyperfixations, like addictions, eating too much, exercising a lot. It could be, any number of things, shopping, gambling, gaming. There's so many ways to escape. And when you start to go within and find what you're trying to escape from, the things that you find are often the things that are going to take you into that next level of empowerment, where you can go out into the world and be that version of yourself that is empowered in your energy and empowered in your space, and not being the effect of the world. Because if we can find those things that are uncomfortable, that trigger us, that maybe make it difficult for us to be in the world, then we can do that whole, kind of dance where we sit there with the energy, we resolve it, and then we're able to be in the world as our highly sensitive selves, which is a gift, which is really a gift. And I know that for a lot of us, it doesn't feel that way. And it sucks. And it really sucks, guys. It sucks. It sucks to feel like you're always overwhelmed, you're always stressed, you're always, burnt out, you're always taking on all of this emotion. Maybe you're feeling like you just get too much information that comes in telepathically, or maybe you see a lot of energy, which is overwhelming. And the thing about this is that you can learn to turn those abilities on and off. And you can learn the appropriate times that you want to have your spiritual sensitivity awakened. And you can, dial it down when you're doing things like driving or having a conversation with somebody at work, or, in a job interview, or at the mall. You don't have to always be on at all times. And that's another part of this, is that when you learn how to turn your sensitivity on and off, you can be in the world and experience energy, and it doesn't have to overwhelm and become the thing that you're always dealing with or a problem. So if there's one thing that you can walk away with today, I hope that it is that your sensitivity is not a problem. There's nothing wrong with you. There never has been anything wrong with you. Nothing has been broken. You're not broken. You are an awakened spirit in a human body, and you're aware of energy, and you speak the language of the universe in a world that doesn't validate that strength. And so once you let go of the notion that there's something wrong that needs to be fixed, you can start to really own and honor that sensitivity as your superpower. Because how many movies have we watched? How many shows have we watched where the main character has this immense gift to see, sense, feel, shift, and really engage with the sense of magic? And I'm telling you that it is real. It's real, and you have that ability. And in a lot of those stories, the main character has to learn how to own and develop that in order to be empowered in it. Kind of like when Spider-Man first gets his gifts, right? He doesn't really know how the webs work. He doesn't know what's going on. He's kind of freaked out. Sounds like a spiritual awakening to me. Drawing some parallels here. So if you are interested in learning how to own your sensitivity as your superpower, I would start by meditating. I would start by honoring that you're highly sensitive. I would start by going within and sitting with yourself for a few moments a day and just being there with you and validating yourself. Maybe looking for some of those images that are more disempowering and saying, you know what, I no longer agree with that image of me being lost. I no longer agree with that image of me drowning. And I no longer agree with that image of me being too sensitive or broken. Goodbye. Done. It's boring. It's, for some of us, it's boring, right? We've looked at that image for so long, and we've been the effect of that image for so long, and it's just energy. It's not fixed. You're not stuck. It just needs to be acknowledged to be resolved. So acknowledge it and resolve it and let it fall away, and take your energy out of that and start to charge the new image of you, which is you are empowered in your sensitivity, you're empowered in your gifts, and you see yourself as somebody who can walk through the world and be the eye of the storm. So if you'd like to learn how to really manage and own those gifts, I have a free download on my website, melaniesheree.com. It is called the Empowered Empath Meditation. I think that's what it's called. If it's not, then we'll find out later, right? I also have my Empath Survival Guide on my website, which is a free download where I give you 5 different tips on how to integrate all of the information that I've gathered about being highly sensitive so that you can be in the world and you can feel at a body level and a nervous system level a lot more regulated, so that you can begin to take that step to raise your vibration on a body level so that your energy is not vibrating in that tuning fork where you're starting to continuously attract things that reaffirm limiting beliefs and reaffirm those images of yourself as disempowered. I highly recommend it. I made it for all y'all, and I love you, and I just wanted to give it to everybody, and I wish that there was more people that just were like, Melanie, give me this. So please take it. It is for you. I made it for you. I wrote it for my younger self, and I hope that it helps you. And I made it with a lot of love. The other thing that I wanted to let you know is that I do a mentorship program called the Empower Empath. And in that mentorship program, I work with highly sensitive, neurodivergent, intuitive, and empathic individuals, and a lot of times spiritual business owners, and teaching them how to have tools to own their gifts. And really, a lot of times that takes their perception of being highly sensitive in the world and being the effect of the world and shifts it into that of being empowered so that they can create in the world, so that you can create in the world from a space of empowerment. It's a lot of one-on-one support through Telegram. I also do personalized meditations. We get you a healing guide. We work with the Akashic Records. We do deprogramming of limiting beliefs. There's so many different pieces to this. So if you're interested, I've linked the Empowered Empath Mentorship down below so that you can check it out. I'm not sure when you're listening to this or watching this and how many spots I have available, but they do tend to fill up really fast when I do have them. So if you happen to see this and feel called, I would definitely fill out that application form. I can always add you to my wait list if I don't have any openings. They tend to open up in usually like month to month basis, depending on whose mentorship's ending and who's coming in. So the wait's usually not super long. I also wanted to talk about Awakening Sanctuary, which is my women's intuitive training program, where my business partner, Olivia Ray, and I teach women how to own and access their intuitive gifts and really develop those intuitive gifts. And if you're somebody who is looking for a community of highly sensitive individuals who are interested in opening their third eye and accessing all of their intuitive gifts, learning how to heal, learning how to see energy, learning how to understand spirit, and really deepen into that with a sense of community and connection, I would highly recommend it. We have one that's starting here soon. And again, I don't know when you're watching this video, so you'll just have to check out the link down below to see when our next training is starting. You can also check out the website to find more information about Awakening Sanctuary. And I do want to mention that Awakening Sanctuary, we call it a women's program, but it's really for individuals who are born with a female body, one, or identify as non-binary or are transitioning into womanhood. And we wanted to make this much more inclusive because the experience of being a spirit in a body is so much more than the physical body gender expression and the biological gender expression. And there's a lot of people in the world that recognize, like trans people and non-binary people, that we are not just our bodies. We are a lot of different energies that are both male and female. And so our program is really structured so that those who identify with female energy and have run female energy through their bodies or are transitioning into a space of womanhood can really have that space that's safe. And we're really trying to acknowledge here that the experience of being a woman in today's society, whether you identify as non-binary when we're born with a female body, or whether you're transitioning into womanhood or cisgendered woman, is so unique. Womanhood comes with all of these different crazy societal hurdles. There's all of this energy that we run that's just a little bit different than male-bodied energy, a little bit. And we really wanted to create a safe space for anybody who wanted to explore that to really feel welcome. So I don't want you to feel excluded. You are more than welcome. We see you, we love you, and we support you, especially during this crazy time in the world right now. I'm posting this March 2023. So, right? Am I right? And as all of that's going on, we just really wanted to create a safe space. So all I'm trying to say. So all of that is available to you. If you have any questions, if you want to get in touch, if you're curious about how intuitive you are, if you're intuitive, if you're psychic. I have a free quiz on my website. It is called Discover Your Intuitive Gifts. And it's the Discover Your Intuitive Gifts quiz. How intuitive am I? How psychic am I? How empathic am I? You just kind of get a feel for, where you fall on that spectrum of experience. So again, if you want to get in contact with me, I'll also link my contact information down below. Thank you so much for being here. And I hope that you find a way to really embrace you as the beautiful, sensitive individual that you are this lifetime. And I hope that you find your empowerment in that. And I'm really coming from a place of feeling that, because I know what it is to be in the world as somebody who's highly sensitive, to feel really alone in that and to feel like nobody gets it, especially when you hear and see and feel and experience the world of spirit. I hope that you find that for yourself and you can begin to really own that your sensitivity is truly your superpower. I love you guys. I hope that you all are well. And if you need anything from me, everything is linked below. Love you.